Welcome to our new show. We used to be the RE Ninjas. As the music fades. Now we are Real Estate on Sunday. We thought that was a better name. If you agree, you should let us know.
Call
if
in.
you disagree, let us know.
Call in to 1-800-967-3561.
You can also check us out on Facebook. We're going to have a page up, rocking and rolling any minute now.
Wonderful.
So this is our 7th show. We were the RE Ninjas prior to this. And we're streaming live on Blog Talk Radio. And we also put up our podcasts on Facebook. And
YouTube, right?
YouTube, right? 347 people. We're going to hopefully...
97.
You're right. 97. 300.
We don't want to lose those.
We're gonna, right. We need every listener.
Yes.
So last week we had, should we talk about last week's Perfect Storm?
We had Deborah Dobbs.
Actually, we should introduce ourselves.
Oh, I'm Diana Dority.
And I am Jim Lowenstern. And last week we had the perfect storm of technological snafus.
We did.
How many things went wrong?
Well, we had sound issues.
We had no sound on our show. Well, that's not totally true. We had a camera with a buzzing microphone.
Yes.
So that may be why our numbers were off a little bit last week. Maybe word of mouth wasn't going to be that great because the sound was so horrible.
Sure.
And we apologize.
We do.
We got a much better camera.
We've got a good camera. Good sound system, upgraded.
We have our power board actually plugged into the wall this week, not running off of batteries. I think we covered just about everything.
We did.
So
we had Deborah Dobbs.
Now all we need is a new. Yeah. Now all you need to do is a good show.
Yes.
So last week.
Today is the day.
Yeah. Today is the day. Last week we actually had a great show, and we're transcribing it because it was so great. And that the sound wasn't that good. Deborah Dobbs is a top broker from Chicago, and she was on the show.
Yes.
So let's talk about
what do you want to talk about?
The new name. Okay. So the question of the week is it okay for realtors to lie? Okay. Is that okay with you?
I don't.
And the question is, you're negotiating. You have a buyer. Yeah. You have an offer, and you present it to the broker, and the broker says, we have a lot of offers, we have over the asking price offers. If your buyer is serious, bring in your
best offer.
Should you always believe the broker? Should the broker have to tell you the truth? Maybe they have no offers.
Well, aren't they not supposed to tell that they have an over-asking offer? Isn't that not allowed? Like, they're not supposed to indicate price or imply price?
On our exclusive right to sell, we have 3 choices. And one is you're allowed to...
You're allowed to... It depends on what the listing agreement states. So you're allowed to disclose that there's an existence of other offers.
And you can even give the price.
If the seller gives you permission to do that.
Right. But let's say that the seller gives you permission to even say what the price is.
Sure.
I have a property under agreement right now, and the broker told me what the highest offer was.
That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't our offer, and that deal fell apart, and they came back.
So your buyer didn't come up over that price?
No.
So then it hasn't closed
and
yet?
It was verified by the seller. The seller actually said that was the price. And I didn't ask, was it okay with you that the broker told me that?
Yeah.
But the real question is, if the broker doesn't have any offers and says, we have an offer.
I feel like that always blows up in your face, though. That could blow up in your face. Like, that could potentially, like, then a week later, well, what happened to that other offer? And then you're calling the other person back and saying, oh, well, we did have an offer, but things didn't come together. You know, it's kind of one lie goes into another lie to another lie.
Brokers can lie legally.
unless it's about hiding,
Right, that's
yeah,
misrepresentation.
misrepresentation,
But
yeah.
lying about an offer, lying about having offers
Or
when they
interest
might
in
not,
offers, yeah.
or
Buzz of offers, yeah, I think that,
it's okay.
yeah, I do.
It's just,
If you're creating
it's just part of the business.
business, yeah, I think that and then it's tough to read another broker if they're saying they've got multiple offers, and when you're representing a buyer, do you believe them? Do you not believe them? And that's part of the business. Sometimes you can call it out and say, well, I've had people say that to me, and we've got multiple offers, and I didn't believe them. And my client did want to make an offer. They put it lower than the asking price, and they got it under agreement. So if there was multiple offers, then why wouldn't they take one of the other offers? I guess you don't have to disclose what the other offers are. There could be multiple offers. One of them might be $100,000 below the asking price.
Right.
You know, one might be $15,000 below. You could
So it's
have
obviously legal right now for brokers to lie. And I
about
guess,
it. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. There's nothing you can do about it.
I put it out there in the blogosphere. I got a few responses.
What types of responses?
Most brokers didn't have a problem with it.
Well, I think it's just part of the business.
I don't think they care.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, there's a reason.
It's funny what brokers care about.
Yeah.
So if unless I'm reading it wrong. So
What do you think? Do you think it's okay?
I don't think there's any way to police it. I don't think it's okay. I think that there are times when brokers are lying, and the truth would probably work to their advantage.
Yeah.
And there's no way to police it, so we have to just, I guess, pay attention to what we can make changes to.
Sure. Yeah.
Does that
I
make
feel like
sense?
if I ever would lie, it would just not work out for me. That's how
I mean, I've been put in some very unusual positions where I had to be creative, let's just say.
Yeah, there's
I
ways
never
of wording
lied.
things.
I never lied. I had to be creative.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
In negotiations,
Well, I've said
there's
I've had multiple offers. They don't know what the other offers are.
strategies.
Yes, I mean, you
And
know,
there's white lines.
get in right away. You have to. There's an urgency here. There's nothing wrong with that. That's doing our job, I think.
I've seen.
I can't say that there's an offer when there's not one. That's because I feel like that's not gonna. It could always turn out bad.
I've had brokers that just started in the business, potentially could have been great brokers, very talented, probably better than anyone I had seen in a long time, and because they were so honest, they lost business.
Well, you can be too honest. Sometimes you gotta know when to shut up. That's kind of just sometimes you just gotta know. And that's hard for me because I talk. But sometimes you have to know when just
Well, that's
to.
good for a talk show. We'll keep that in mind. Okay, so Trulia and Zillow. That's going to be our next topic. Let's talk about Trulia and Zillow.
Okay.
I see them being also mentioned with Realtor.com a bit. I don't use Realtor.com. I have used Trulia and Zillow. Years ago, I used Realtor.com. Do you use any of them?
Well, I do with the automatic syndication from the MLS. They automatically go into
Right.
it, but I don't pay
But you
extra
don't-
for it.
And you don't put your listings specifically into them?
I do put them specifically into them through that Postlet
Okay.
avenue where you can advertise directly onto Zillow, but it's already picked up there before I even do it on the Postlet. Just
What
from
about open listings?
well, I've never had an open listing like just for rents and stuff for rentals
For sale?
for sales.
Could be for sale too.
Um,
I mean, that's the whole point.
yeah, I guess just trying to get the buyer directly.
I guess the point is, or this is the question: is it conceivable that real estate brokers don't need their MLS anymore? Has it gotten to that point?
Well, the accuracy of these websites aren't always.
Well, it can
on.
be as accurate as you want it to be. When you put your listing into the system, you can be 100% accurate.
But if you put it into Zillow, sometimes it doesn't get deleted. When you put it under agreement, it doesn't go under agreement. There's some kind of delay with it.
That should be the least
Yeah.
anyone's problems, because if it's in there, you might get a call.
Sure.
Anyway, it's another customer looking for a property. The reason I bring this up, I have a listing, and it's just a rental. It's my wife's apartment. She's renting it out, so I put it in. And I may have put it in a little bit too low, because I had to rent it the last time in November. And
Sure.
this is July, and a lot more people looking in July
The
for
rental
a
market's
rental.
better too.
Yeah. So I put it in at November's price. I get there the other night to show it, and I knew a lot of people would be there.
Sure.
It looked like Black Friday at
At a Macy's or.
yeah, it was crazy. Just, there was a crowd of people. I was like 2 minutes later, it was a crowd of people waiting for me.
Okay.
And literally a line snaking through this little apartment.
Wow.
It's two-bedroom.
Two-bedroom apartment. Wow.
So
That's good.
all of the response was from Zillow and Trulia.
Sure.
Like one or two brokers who saw it in MLS, but I had to date probably over 50 responses from Zillow and Trulia. So the question is, do we really even need MLS anymore? It's kind of scary. Is Zillow and Trulia the new MLS? I've even heard of brokers, they pre-market their listings.
Yes.
Before they put them into MLS, because MLS will have days on market.
Sure. Sure.
And-
That's what we were talking about before too with the Zillow. The pre-listing.
So I guess that's the norm.
That's, I guess, the new normal. That's what you said, right? New
Yeah.
normal.
Yep. So you have a couple of listings?
I do have.
Let's get a shameless plug in.
I will shamelessly plug them. I have two new listings. One 19 Granite Street in Walpole,
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
USA.
It's
Because we're an international show.
$299,900, which is a great price for that town. It's 2.87 acres, a lot of land. The land alone is worth over $300,000.
Okay.
So there's some interesting issues with it. The seller doesn't want to do the Title V, which in Massachusetts typically
Let's say all the good things about it.
all the good things. Well,
None
it's
of
two,
the
I
bad.
just said 2.87 acres under
That's all you need to
300,000.
know.
That's all I have
You
to
can tear
say.
the house down and it's worth
Yeah,
everything.
I mean it's worth every penny. Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
And then I've got one coming up in Hyde Park on River Street, and that's my favorite number, 299.9. It's the number of the week.
I like 2.5 million.
2.5, yes. That's my next one. And that's a great house as well. Great starter home in Hyde Park. Perfect for people that need to live in the city. It's right near the trains.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Okay. So we have a new listing on castlesmag.com, Castles Magazine. And the ID, when you go to castlesmag.com, it's listing ID 2276, $16 million, 660 Hot Springs Road in Montecito. One-story residence. It was built in the mid-1940s, and just a beautiful house. 4-acre garden estate in the heart of Montecito's Golden Quadrangle.
Sounds beautiful.
Let's see. Formal entrance hall opens to it should be, going to do the typo correction there, an oversized living room which opens up to a covered 80-foot long veranda overlooking the pool, formal gardens, and lawns toward the ocean. Absolute privacy, unmatched, blah, blah, blah.
So that's interesting. I look at the assessment here, and buyers like to look at the assessments of properties and see what the value is.
That can't be right.
This is assessed at $421,067.
We'll double check that.
And it's on for $16 million.
that
I mean,
can't
I
be
get
right.
that there's some kind of scale that sometimes it's a little lower or higher.
$4,500 for taxes.
But
What? For a $16 million
that's gotta be a
estate.
mistake,
Well, we're gonna.
right?
I don't know. I don't know. It also could have been in. I don't know. Could have
Euro?
been- well, even euro.
Euro's higher,
I was
right?
thinking maybe it was ounces of gold or so. 421,000 ounces of gold for the assessment. Because we have the little conversion button on
You
the
can
site.
change it to a different format. Well, that looks like a beautiful property.
Okay, so we have a new product that we're bringing to market. It's going beyond the virtual tour. Virtual tour, you just have one photo, it moves around. We have this great new studio now. So our listings, our company, Castles Unlimited, all of our listings, we're going to start doing the just listed news.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, so
Oh, good.
isn't that great?
I love it.
Yeah,
Never gets
little
old.
applause for the just listed news. So it's my idea. More applause. More applause.
Shameless.
Yes, yes. So we're actually going to be like this, but probably someone standing up straight.
All right.
And what's that?
No more applause.
What's that?
So no more applause.
No more applause.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and talking about the new listing as if it were a news bulletin.
Okay.
So it brings life to it. It brings an audio dialogue to the listing.
Oh, I like it. A face too, and
brings life to
life
it.
to it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so we're actually trying to work with different slogans. You know, we bring life to virtual tours or something like that.
Okay.
You know, because it's still the virtual tour is going to be behind the person, green screen, and then a B-roll where the person who's talking is not there at all, but there's a narrative.
Okay.
Whereas a virtual tour is just, you're looking at the living room, you know it's the living room, but you don't know that the fireplace is perhaps a working fireplace, or that it's a marble fireplace. You know, we'll actually talk about the property, you know.
So especially for people that can't get to properties and like overseas or to look at them, that would be good. And
Well, also the broker, and we'll allow the brokers to come in and sort of personalize
the property, almost like walking you through it.
The tour, so they can actually come in. We have a teleprompter; they can read off the teleprompter, and you know, real estate brokers now, they have to use social media.
Yeah.
I mean, look what we're doing. This
Sure.
is this is just social media. That's
Yes.
all it is. It goes on Facebook, for example.
Yeah.
People can send links, the YouTube link, and we can edit out clips. So it'll be two different versions. One that can be in MLS. So in all the MLS syndicated feeds, there'll be a little button that can be pushed, and the just listed news pops up.
So in MLS, do you think it's okay for the broker to be speaking about it in front?
I didn't think about
You
it,
know,
but
When you are searching for a new home, you want to be working with a realtor with years of experience, a professional with intimate knowledge of the communities that you are considering moving to, and someone who really wants to represent you as a buyer in what is probably the largest investment you will ever make in your lifetime. The realtors at Castles Unlimited want to be your choice when you are ready to make your next move. Please visit us at castlesunlimited.com or call us anytime at 800-967-3561. The realtors at Castles Unlimited are here to help your next purchase, lease, or sale of any real estate the easiest decision you've ever made. Start your search anytime, 24/7 at castlesunlimited.com.
we really were planning from the beginning that it would be like a spokesperson.
Sure.
You know, like almost like it's a newscast. It would be the same people every week talking about hundreds or thousands of
Oh, so
listings.
it's not just like I wouldn't come in and do my listing. You'd
You
have
could.
one or you could if you wanted to.
Until our MLS shuts that
Sure.
down. But how are they going to police that? How are they going to know?
Who's an agent? Who isn't an agent? Like,
Right.
Yeah, if you're doing it like a newscast, like you would have a news person.
I mean, I think they're just going to be a little ticked off that I thought of it and they didn't think of it. But other than that, I think that
What a great idea.
I think
Absolutely.
the product will. It's a way to get a social media, high touch element onto a pretty stale and two-dimensional
virtual
piece of-
tour.
Well, you know, the listing itself is just a very digital, flat, you know, numbers and pictures. The virtual tour gave it a little bit of
And
life.
it adds a little bit of excitement to it too for the buyers as well. I think, you know, to be able to look through it. I know that people look at the pictures. It's almost so quick now. I mean, I remember when they first got the MLS on the internet, I know the buyers would sit and look at the pictures Like,
Well,
take
it
their
used to
time
be actual videos. People used to go
Yeah.
through the house with
video cameras.
and they'd set up a video camera with a 360-degree.
Oh yeah, and they do the
They-
whole
they
turn,
pan-
and you could turn
yeah,
it
right.
with your mouse.
Right.
Okay, so now I think that with the way social media is going and people the way they are, it's just so quick. They'll click right through it. Click, 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 click. You have to make sure that your pictures are amazing.
Well, we've seen videos for specific houses that are, I mean, $20,000-$30,000 productions for a 3-minute video. There's some
Yeah.
online that are just amazing. But even though they have like a storyline and there's actors and actresses hired
Okay.
for it, it doesn't sell the property
Sure.
in the end. It's great publicity for the agent. This, on the other hand, is focused on just selling the property. This is just talking about the property, but having, it's almost like the person calls the broker and the broker's gonna tell them about the whole
A
property.
little bit of dialogue.
It's gotta be short, because
Sure.
it can't be, I think, 1 to 2 minutes. I was thinking it was gonna be 3 to 5 minutes, but honestly,
Might be too long.
you know, just like a news,
Just highlights.
think of a newscast. How long is the average story?
Yeah.
It's probably no more
No
than
more than a minute, 2 minutes at the most.
It's got to be short, and then it can be sent out through LinkedIn and Twitter and everything else as well.
I like it.
So that's the just listed news. Let's see. Got the name of the show. Should we talk about why we call it Real Estate on Sunday?
We should talk about that.
Do you know why we call it that?
Well, I knew that somebody suggested it. It was a suggestion, and that Sunday is the day of real estate. Really, it's the day to go to
It's
open houses
for residential real estate.
and make decisions about
Think about
where
it.
to buy,
Do commercial
where to
brokers
live.
work on the weekends?
They're
like lawyers,
yeah,
right?
no,
They clock out at 5 o'clock on a Friday.
Friday.
That's it.
they're done.
I wish I was a
Me
commercial
too.
broker. I mean,
Why don't we get into
I
that?
have no idea why they picked residential real estate, but so
Sundays
that,
I work. I definitely work.
but that's why it's on Sunday, and we'll set it up so we'll probably do the shows during the week, and now we can do it anytime because
Sure.
we'll put them out on Sunday, so the new show will be made
Okay.
available each week, so then it's got a double meaning.
Some new listings and maybe that tour on a couple of them.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do that?
Yeah, well, on our
Maybe not on
on
the show.
our
That'll be a
Real
separate
Estate
thing.
on Sunday page, we'll
We'll
have
have
those
a
stories and lots of links.
Links on it.
in our
Perfect.
Twitter feed.
That sounds
Note
great.
note to self, we need a Twitter feed. Okay.
I already made
One-
one
You got a
What's-
Twitter feed?
What's that?
for the Justice listed views. Are you talking about?
No,
For
for the
Real Estate on Sunday show.
Real Estate on Sunday. Okay.
So what else? Well, we were talking last week about embarrassing stories, and you left us without your story, Jim.
I had a couple. A showing where, you know, you got to knock before you open, or open and knock, and hello, and a little voice from upstairs. I think this was maybe tenants, and it might have been a condo for sale. Can you come back in 10 minutes? You can hear the rustling of
Yeah,
sheets and stuff
yeah.
like that. Yeah, I interrupted someone.
Yeah, that happened too.
Years ago, I had an agent that it was kind of a strange house. You know how sometimes there's on the inside of a door there'll be like a little latch or something for privacy for a bedroom.
Yep.
We had a house where there was these little latches with a place for a lock on the outside of the bedroom. Like the
Oh, so you
parents
could lock 'em
would
in?
lock the kids into the bedroom.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the agent.
You lock people into the room.
It was that house.
Sure.
There was no lock on the latch, and she knocked and opened the door, and the lights were off, and she flipped on the lights, and there was a teenage boy, no clothing on because it was a warm summer day, no air conditioning, jumping out of bed. And it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Of
jumped
course,
out
yeah.
of bed, birthday suit.
Yeah, I've had a couple of
and,
those birthday
in
suits.
full view of the buyers.
Yeah,
You know, things like that.
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Those are fun times. I had this one listing where it was a bank takeover for a foreclosure. And so I had to go and identify that the property was vacant. And, I went a number of times, more than I needed to go. And there was a car on the side of the road, on the driveway, no license plate, cinder blocks.
Mm-hmm.
It was a two-family. The first floor was vacant, nobody in it. It was the middle of the summer, and there was Christmas lights around the top of the house. And I came and knocked. I left my business card. I did everything I needed to do, and at all different times of the day, no answer. So I contacted the bank, and the bank actually ordered me to change the locks and go into the property, and I was going to put it on for sale. So that's what I did. And
During which recession was this?
this was 2010. So it
Okay.
was a foreclosure.
Recent.
Recent. So I get the locksmith, and they blow through the first keyhole, and next locksmith the same locksmith goes to go to the next lock.
Yeah, yeah.
Next thing you know, people come out of the house from upstairs. Someone pulls up. I was like, oh my God, I thought I was going to get shot, to tell you the truth. I was really
Yeah.
worried about that.
What town was this?
It was Hyde Park.
Okay.
All right. And outside of Boston.
Part of Boston.
And I just said, I'm sorry. I apologized. I asked the locksmith to put a new lock on, which they did. I gave them the keys. It was the owners of the house, actually, that were the people that had gotten foreclosed on.
Okay.
So it was an interesting situation. And they actually ended
I
up...
thought it was going to be a better story.
I know. Well, it was just kind of crazy.
I wanted squatters to be there.
Well, no, it wasn't squatters. It was the owners and
'Cause I have a squatter
extended
story.
family. You have a squatter one?
I never had a squatter story before this week.
So did they actually have property rights? Like, isn't there a thing about that? I forget, where if you stay on the property for
Yeah.
10 years or something?
Yeah,
Very
well,
state.
yeah.
Is it 10 years?
Yeah,
Squatters' rights are a real thing.
Yeah.
You're talking about probably an easement by prescription. And
Sure,
that's 20
that's what it
years.
is, 20 years.
That's different.
Okay.
That's different. That's why they close Rockefeller Center every year for 24 hours, so no one can walk across it. They
It's
want to retain ownership
That's right.
to all their land.
Okay.
Okay.
I knew there was something.
Easement by prescription.
Easement by
But
prescription.
that's different. And a lot of people, when I was down in Palm Beach, so they have easements where people can walk from the road to the beach.
Sure.
And the homeowners there will close them off for one day every year so that they retain
Full rights.
actual rights, yeah. So, my squatter story happened last week. New customers that I'm working with that just bought something from me, and they were buying something else, and they wanted me to take a look at it because they were going to turn it into condos.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it in a multiple listing. It was like 8 units in Waltham, Massachusetts.
Okay.
8 units on Moody Street. It's a
Oh, yeah, it's a busy street.
busy street,
Nice.
but well located to the shops.
Restaurants.
Well located in general. 629,000 or 639,000, something like that for 8 units. So on paper, it looks like, wow, what a deal.
Incredible, yeah.
We just sold 4 units. We had a 4-unit building. Each unit sold for about 3.25.
Yeah.
So I was doing the math. I was like, wow, what a home run.
Yep.
He wants me to take a look at it. He's going to buy it. He's going to give me the listings. I better go and see it. So I get there, and he was a few minutes late. He says, just walk around the property. So I'm trying to figure out where the parking is going to be for all these cars. And I check one of the doors, and the door swings open, and it hits a piece of tile. So it doesn't open up. It's only going to open up that wide.
Okay.
And then the interior door was locked. So I go, okay. And 8 mailboxes, stacks of mail all the place. The place was smelly. Let's just say grass, bushes, everything is growing out of control. Paint's peeling off. Gutters are off the side of the house. I mean, the place was a disaster. And I think there was maybe something like a court order in orange on the door.
Oh, yeah,
you,
some
you
kind
know,
of-
you
yep.
can't occupy this.
For eviction or
Board of Health,
Yeah,
you
no.
know, easements or
something's up there.
egresses or something.
Yeah.
So I walk around, I find another door, and I try it, and it's open. So I walk in, and I'm standing inside the kitchen, and there's jugs of yellow liquid in the jugs.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh God.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
No, it gets much worse. Empty beer, empty little alcoholic nips all over the place. It was like a crack house. Okay, so I start walking towards what I think is the living room, and someone moves. There was a person there, right in front of me.
Oh dear.
I know. It was like I thought this place was empty.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was a friendly, not
conversation.
not a hostile.
Yeah. Mine wasn't so friendly when I.
It was the guy. It was the guy that was actually helping the new owner clean up the place, and he starts talking to me like I know who he is. He says, "Wow, we really should get more trash bags." And I'm looking around. I go,
So he's embarrassed. He's like apologizing for the way his
looking
house
around.
looks.
I'm looking around, going, "Trash bags? What are you talking about? You need a dumpster, like a
Yeah.
huge dumpster, and you need to get everything that's part of this house." There was decaying everything everywhere. But he gave me a tour through the house. There was actually human defecation.
Oh, dear.
And one room was the bathroom. Yeah. So
Ugh.
so
That's awful.
just so that $639,000 price.
It's like a hazmat
I was
situation.
right, and I'm walking around like
Oh, you needed
know,
a shower when you got out of there.
I'm not touching anything. If my
Yeah.
feet didn't have to touch the floor, I would have been happier.
I think. Oh,
It's okay.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a tough situation. I've had places where I think they had like some kind of drug labs in the studios.
Well, they
where
have to be.
I walked in and my clothes. My husband was like, after the open house, I went and saw him. He's like, "What?" You could smell it all over
Oh,
my
that's
body. I
horrible.
literally
That
took
I've
the
never
clothes.
had.
It was I don't know what it was. It was some kind of. I could feel like a film on my skin.
Ooh,
It was awful.
sounds like.
I don't know what they were doing in there, but it
crystal
wasn't.
meth or something.
It must have been. I don't know. I
Did
have
you
no
watch
idea.
Breaking Bad? Because he renegotiated the price of the house.
Because of it? Oh.
Based on the drug lab that he ran.
Well, I did see a couple episodes, and then it's a big commitment to watch that show. It was good. I liked
Yeah,
it.
it's a
but-
lot of good TV, but that's
Yeah.
my favorite show of all time.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's
I'll have to get back
funny,
into it.
Funny show. Yeah. So.
Crazy
So we'll
stories.
so we'll do this again next week,
Perfect.
God willing. And what's our slogan? Do we have a new slogan, or we're going to stay with the old slogan? What was it? Remember your dreams.
Know your dreams.
Know your dreams.
Live your dreams.
Know your dreams. I'm going to write it down because
Live your dreams.
I made it up, but I forgot it. Know your dreams. Live your dreams.
This is Real Estate on Sunday.
I'm Jim Lowenstern.
I'm Diana Dority. We'll see you next week.